Hello, what is up, guys? Welcome to race 3 of VIL. We are at China today, and we're hopefully going to be having some more good racing. As you can see, we've got a couple new drivers in Liam MD, who is a reserve. Then we've also got Jonathan Cox, who is now our new permanent driver at Mercedes, joining with Gunnar. Then we also have YBR 2017, who is also a new driver, and Pazina. I'm not 100% sure how to say that, but I'm just going to call him Paz for now because we'll see if he has a way he wants it to be said. But we'll just get on board with Laggy Racer on his outlap, who's on the mediums. I'm just going to the track map, which is nice. I'll have that on full. The new update, it'd be nice to have so we can see where everyone is on the track. We want to see what's fitted, don't we? And people's, yeah, what's fitted. Fastest lap, gap, broadcast data, telemetry, we want that on as well. So what is we want to be on board with Energetics, as he is going to be the first one across the line. I'll just read what everyone's saying in the chat. Wet race, if that's true, that's going to make this a lot more interesting. We've got obviously Hill Energetics coming out here on the hard tyres. We can see what he's going to be doing on that. I'm not 100% sure on the strategy around here. I'm pretty sure it's a hard medium, or a medium hard is the preferred option, but and Energetic straight back out. I've just realised I just said it was a hard medium, didn't I? Even though it's apparently a wet race. We'll go on board with Laggy Racer, watch his lap, as he's going to be the first one to set a time today. And it seems like everyone else is diving into the pits, as we've got a McLaren and the Racing Point also starting their laps. Just coming around the chicane now. Straight down into first with the acceleration, really nicely taken there. Sorry if the commentary's a bit lacking today. I'm not 100% like on top of this track. It's not one of my most well known, but we'll be able to survive. It's looking like quite a good lap here though from Laggy Racer as he comes down the back straight. Hitting over 200 miles an hour on this back straight, one of the fastest in this season. Slightly overshooting there as he comes around the final corner to set his time, and it is going to be a 1:33.280. That is going to be the benchmark for today on the mediums, but we do also have a McLaren in YBR coming around the corner, running a bit wide on the last corner, but it lets you, and that's even quicker by 1/10 than Mazgo. Into second place. Is very, very close on the mediums right now, as we've just got a Red Bull, Toro Rosso and Mercedes starting their lap, which will be nice to get on board with. As we've got just seen Total P's go fastest and then instantly shot out of the question by Jonathan Cox. Total P's the quickest so far on the mediums, and then Jonathan Cox is 1.7 in front, and then you got Grant Boy going to 31.7 on the softs as well, so still 7/10 slower than the provisional pole time of Jonathan Cox. We're starting to get these lap times in at the moment. I'm not expecting them to be too quick because I think some people will be running wet setups, as I've been informed it is a wet race. But this track map is actually really helpful to have on board. Sorry if I cough a bit today, just got over a cold, so. We just got One coming down the back straight, being followed by Andreas, and then I think Gunnar, which will be nice because I can just switch through. As we've got Maz starting another lap just in front. We're going to see One drop into 4th, Andreas into 7th, and Gunnar into 4th. As what we will do is quickly go down to here, see what we're seeing on this. And Hilke is starting his lap. Really not paying attention to this too well, but we are just going to sit on board now with Irej, who is on a lap, just coming back down the back straight as well, hitting that DRS on 30%. He's cutting it quite fine. Yep, he's just run out of ERS coming around to the hairpin just here. Probably not the best place to run out of it, as he's not going to get the maximum amount of speed on the acceleration that he could have got. But he will push himself into 10th place with a 33.679, as I'm going to sit on board with Energetics here, who has just really had a bit of a moment there. This is a very, very challenging corner. If you don't get this right, it can just spit you out. But I think Energetics has called off his lap. That's a dead lap as well. As we see Maz drop into 7th place on the mediums again. Really cutting this fine, I think. But we've got people all coming into the pits now. We'll see if I can spot someone on a lap for you. I don't know if Pasina is on a lap. He is. Is he going to improve? No. Still going to sit on a 34.5. So the pole time at the moment is still Jonathan Cox on a 31 flat. For anyone to beat that, he is going. Pease is on an outlap now. He's going to have to go pretty well to beat a 31 flat, but it is doable. As we see Liam MD almost come darting back into the path of Total P's. Not 100% sure what he's trying to do, but he has just let him pass. As we've got a Haas of Energetics maybe on a lap, is on a lap right now. As we'll sit on board. He will be getting slipstream possibly from. Alright, here we go. Really cutting that close there just to get a tiny bit slipstream. I don't know if it was worth it, but we'll see. Braking at that curb there nicely. Down into 1st gear, getting a good launch out of the hairpin. Braking just at the shadow. Coming across the line to put himself P3 with a 32.2. Which now we'll sit on board with Total P's, who is just going onto his fast lap. See what he can do. As we do have Liam MD in front of him, so we'll see if he does catch him or lose him. That will already be a good indication onto the pace. But we have got Andreas, who's just came out onto a outlap that I've just noticed as well. Why by R? Why do I keep wanting to say why by R? That'd be a much easier name. YBR is out on a lap as well, so we will be switching to that. Actually, he's on a lap now, and he's going to set a 32.4, which is a respectable time. Now, I'm not sure if Total Peace has been held up here by Liam, but he will be possibly trying to make the overtake. Or is he going to sit behind? It's the problem with running so closely. Obviously, Liam wants to get his best time as he can, but he's just let him go now. Got Total Peace coming across the line to do a 31.9. I would assume he had been held up there, but you can't be too sure, as I'm going to sit on board with One. See him come through the sector 2, coming into sector 3. If anyone could invite Young Lights back to, and as I've just seen, One just have a moment. If anyone could invite Young Lights back to the session, that'd be much appreciated. He's just lagged out apparently. So if we can get him back into the session as fast as possible, that'd be great. As I should probably sit on board with, here we go, Jonathan Cox coming on another lap here. See if he can improve on that personal best, which he does with a 30.860, which is 9/10 faster than second place at the moment. It's very, very impressive. As I'm going to sit on board with Irej for the rest of this lap to see what he can do. I think we've got a big charge for Jonathan Cox here, who will want to be getting the title as Irej jumps himself up to 5th place. Yeah, he's won obviously in Japan, but that wouldn't have counted towards his championship hopes, as he was not a confirmed full-time driver. So he's really going to be wanting to make up some ground today on the championship leader, which is Dan Murphy on 27 points coming into this third round. As we're just going to see Maz come around this corner, see if he can improve on his time. Down into 5th gear for that corner. He's going to come across the line and put himself up into 5th place as well. So we're going to quickly hop on board with, I don't know if that's, is that Toro Rosso on a lap? No, I think that's an in lap. Yeah, that's an in lap there for the Toro Rosso driver. This will be an out lap for YBR, the same as Energetics, who's just let One through. As Laggy Race, it is actually on a lap, so we would like to see them get out of the way, which they do quite nice and quickly, as we have Energetics swerving on the line just to keep his tyres warm. YBR does take the track position though. Obviously that could mean quite a lot to some of these drivers, as we'll see if Laggy Racer can improve. But this is going to be some people's last runs now, as we've just hit the 3-minute mark. Laggy Racer puts himself into 8th place with a 32.2. It's a very nice, tightly packed grid we've got here. As everyone apart from these guys in the first sector are on their outlaps, so I think we should sit on board with the new guy of YBR. He is a reserve of today, but he could be made permanent depending on how his race goes. So you just got him coming around what I would assume is a horseshoe, whatever. But he's coming down the back straight now. Just braking at the start of the curb, hitting the apex nicely. Getting that acceleration down. We'll see where he can place himself on these softs. We've got Maz, who's just retired from the session. He's gonna not improve from his time. We've got Grant Boy also on a lap. Energetics, who's just coming round, who's actually fallen a long way. So you can see as the track does improve, who doesn't even improve either. We've got Young Light still in the pits. He is not going to be participating anymore. Dan Murphy is just going around for his lap now. It's a one-shot qualifying for him, as he hasn't had another session one yet. But we are going to sit on board with Grant Boy, who is going to, I think, be the first one across the line as the final runs. We'll see if he can improve and challenge for the for that pole position. As Energetics retiring from the qualifying session, he puts himself into P2 with a 31.222. As Total P's not being able to improve either on his lap. Then we will be having a bit of a space. Then it will be Dan Murphy, I think, unless I'm missing. Yeah. Dan Murphy will be crossing the line for the last time. But he has just given up on his session there. I think he's invalidated. It's probably not the greatest idea to crash there, but you know. As we've got Liam MD, who's going to be coming around the last chicane right now. F1 Fast retiring. Jonathan Cox going even quicker. We do need someone to challenge this guy. As he does improve, going 13th place. Looking like One is down in 12th place at the moment, seeing if he can improve on his time. See if he can put himself into this top 10. And he will do, put himself into 5th place. Then we'll have Iraj coming round the corner to see if he can also improve and put himself in it. And no, he does not. Yeah, we're now, last person across the line will be Grant Boy, but he is not taking any further part in the session. We should just see him come across the line, and that is the end of qualifying with Jonathan Cox absolutely storming away on the podium. With half a second gap to second place, Jonathan Cox is your pole sitter for today. Then Grant Boy, Andreas, Total Peas, One, Maz, YBR, Edge, Energetics, and Laggy Racer round out your top 10. We have got a fair big gap between the top 4, and then it kind of tightens up after that. But we will be looking at this midfield battle that seems to be really interesting. So we have got wet weather conditions. This will make this a much more interesting race, as Jonathan may have been running a wet setup to be that much quicker than the rest of the grid, but we will be seeing that as we go. Latest news on the league, if you aren't actually a part of it. If you do want to become a part of it, you can always join the Discord, which will be in the link on the Instagram and Twitter, which is just at Velocity International Games. So we start the formation lap with Jonathan Cox leading. I'll read you through the whole grid order now. So we have Jonathan Cox, Grant Boy, Andreas, Total Peas, One, Maz, YBR, Edge, Energetics, Laggy Racer, Farf, Guna, Liam MD, Leper, Paz, and Dan Murphy rounding off the grid. We'll see if Haas can increase their lead on the constructors' lead today. It's not looking the most promising, but anything can happen in a wet race, as you probably would have seen Germany 2000 of this season. Even the slower cars won that. So for all we know, someone 3 seconds off the pace today may come through on a podium, but it's looking like there's a bit of a breakaway to Total Peas on the formation with a 3-second gap at the moment, and then 4 seconds. Then right at the back we've got a bit of a breakaway, but I don't know if that's people just playing it safe, making sure they don't get caught out. But they are slowing down now. That is a beautiful sight there to see. All these cars coming down his back straight. As you got Dan Murphy way back there in the distance. Right, we've just got the drivers coming up to the grid now, getting ready. We'll be getting started very shortly. I'm hoping for a good clean race today. First wet race of the season. It's hopefully going to be interesting. China always should throw up some good racing, so let's get ready. One light, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And away we go for race 3 of season 1 of VIL. We do not... Oh, there we go. Coming around the first corner. We've had Liam MD really mess up, but Jonathan is falling through the pack right now, really messing up turn 1. But we are looking like it's been a very nice and clean first 2 corners. I'm impressed, actually. Not seen any end plates come off, and I've just jinxed it as I've just seen F1 Farf and then Guna go into the back of each other. But we have now got Grant Boy leading the charge with Jonathan Cox battling Andreas. This is a very, very wet race right now. So I will be looking at who the biggest winners and losers are of so far. And we have YBR, who has spun out, is, I would say, the biggest loser of -9 places, but to still go in, there's another car of F1 Farf who's off the grid, who's lost even more front wing, so I'm not 100% sure what's happened there. That will probably end up in the stewards. Andreas has lost 4 places off the start. We've had Jonathan Cox lose 3 places. Then we've had Dan Murphy gaining 7 places. That's an absolute charge. He started from the back and he's already at 9th place. That's very, very impressive. If we could get his POV on that start, that'd be incredible. We've had Laggy Racer gain 4, as we've got Grant Boy and then Total P's walking away a bit here now. As we've got Jonathan Cox closing up to the back of TNR One Ole, as we've just had a massive switch at the back of the grid. F1 Farf coming into the pits now. There's always everything to play for. This piled up a lot just here. As we've had Andreas lose another position, I think. Iraj is one of the only people today who haven't actually moved a position coming off the start. But you've got the 2 Toro Rossos not battling. I thought they would have been. But I'm sure they'll be playing the team game and letting the fastest driver through, as we have just had another incident with Leper and no one. Okay, Leper's just spun out on his own, I would assume, as he's got no wing damage or anything of the sort. We've got Grant Boy with a nice lead of 9/10, almost a second, 2 Total Ps, who will be looking for another 2nd place finish to improve his championships base. Well, why am I on about? Another 2nd place, he'll be going for the win. But Jonathan Cox will be really looking to get into this battle here to get his positions back. We've got Laggy Racer as well closing up. I think the closest guys on the track here are Andreas, Dan Murphy and the Iraj with Energetics just off the back. We've got Dan Murphy going side by side with Andreas. Who's going to give up first? Andreas is the later of the 2 breakers, but then Dan Murphy's going to try and get the switch back. But I think they're going to stay those 2 positions for now. That is amazing battle in there. Good clean 10-second time penalty for Farf, exceeding track limits, sorry. So I think he will. I'm not 100% sure what is going on with his race. Usually he's fairly quick and on the ball, but I think the closest guys on track at the moment is Dan Murphy and Andreas, and judging from the last race, you can never count Dan Murphy out for an overtaking move, so it will be interesting to sit on board and see what he does here, as this is the 2 championship rivals really head to head here. As we've had Pease make a move for the overtake that I've just missed, I do apologise for that, but Grant Boy's just gone way wide, opening up for One to go for the overtake, which I don't know if he will, but Grant Boy does have wing damage. We've seen who's the later of the two breakers. One is going to get that move done. Open it up for Jonathan as well, but he's not going to be able to get it done either. Andreas and Dan Murphy going side by side, coming out of the hairpin. And Dan Murphy, will he be able to get the move done now? Yes, he will. Not without Andreas coming back at him, though, with a little bit of contact. Grant Boy in the pits. We've got Andreas and Dan Murphy. Grant Boy has retired from the race and left the session. There'll be something in the stewards for that, more than likely. But Dan Murphy making a void in action on Andreas to make sure he doesn't get any race on the back of Maz. We've got the best team. Two teams running here is Racing Point and Red Bull. As we've just lost our first driver this race. Laggy Racer gaining 5 places off the start, Dan Murphy on 8. So we've had a very nice run so far. But we are going to sit on board to see what Jonathan can do on the back of One. Actually, Dan Murphy right on the back of Andreas. This will be an interesting battle to see, but we do need to make sure not to forget about this battle at the front. And we've got Dan Murphy and Andreas going side by side yet again. Andreas with his wing damage. Dan Murphy will be the later of the two breakers. And Andreas does defend very well, but he's got the inside line again, Dan Murphy does. Will he make it stick this time? Yes, he will. Dan Murphy moving up into P7. That's very impressive driving from the both of them there. As a constructors stand at the moment, Haas will be getting closed in on, but we've got F1 Fast doing the fastest lap of the race. I think he's hoping to get in the points by the end of this race. But we have just Andreas is dropping back quite quickly now off the back of Dan Murphy, who I'm pretty sure is what I'm sure he'd like to, well, is a good wet weather driver. As we've got Jonathan on the back of One coming down the back straight, but there is no DRS, so that won't matter too much. As Laggy's still on it within 5/10 of Maz, but cannot make anything stick coming down the back straight. With ear edge on the back as well, but Dan Murphy is catching up quite quickly to the back of these three, which will make an interesting battle. As we've just had One set the fastest lap of the race, but we're going to be watching as Laggy probably tries to make a move here. Nope, he will not. Dan Murphy going fastest lap of the race with a 48.322. Maz running wide, but will he be able to defend? Yes, he will, but will Laggy Racer be able to get the switch back? No. I did see there was a tiny bit of contact there, which may have ruined Laggy's momentum. We've now got P's with a 1 second gap to One. These small gaps of tenths a second do seem a lot bigger now it's in the wet though. But it does seem like it's stopping to rain, if I'm right. It's a lot lighter than it was earlier, but we do have the top three of P's, One and Jonathan Cox running away a bit right now with a 5 second gap to the car behind, which is Maz. But we will be keeping an eye on this battle here, which is the closest of them all. These 4 cars now locked in combat. This is a whole battle for 4th place, really. But we've just seen Maz just pull away by a second on Iraj, and Laggy Racer, as obviously Laggy now has to defend from Iraj. Dan Murphy now right on the back of these two. Gonna be hoping to get done quick and quietly, as Pease now goes quickest with a 1:48.222. As there isn't too much happening at the moment, we've just got a lot of trains going on. It's quite spaced out, this grid is at the moment, but we do have Farf quite quickly gaining on his teammate Leper right now. But Dan Murphy is very quickly catching up to the Alpha of Iraj, who he's going to want to make quick work of, as Iraj, I think, had a bit of an oversteering moment there. Going a bit wide there, which is going to... As I've just seen, Guna and YBR are very close together as well. Not 100%. But I'm going to be sticking on board with them for now, as I think this is the closest battle on board. There's a bit of lagging going on here. I'm not 100% sure who's involved, but Guna does have wing damage, as it seems. Yes, he does. Will he make a move going into the hairpin? Yes, he will go for one. Will he make it stick? That is beautiful work there. Nice and cleanly done by the new guy, YBR. And that is up into the last points paying position of 10th place. Guna running very wide there, but will he be coming back? Iraj and Dan Murphy. I think we could make a Dan Murphy overtaking compilation these last 2 races, honestly. This has been a show he's put on. But we've got YBR is now comfortably in front of Guna, who does have the wing damage, so I would say that plays effect. But Dan Murphy is on a charge at the moment. Jonathan Cox quite comfortably sitting behind One, and One has closed up to Total P's a little bit here. 1.5 seconds, I think it is, splits the top 3, which is very impressive in the wet weather conditions. And then you have Laggy running very, very wide and not managing to pick up a penalty, which was, I would assume, quite lucky for that. But he didn't gain anything, so he didn't lose anything either. But he's not going to be close enough for the move. Dan Murphy's just got a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits, which I'm really surprised about, but that can be amended if it does cause an issue at the end of the race. But that does mean on his pit stop phase it will annoy him a bit. But we will need race director and stuff like that. YBR picking up a 3-second penalty now. As we've got Dan Murphy really on the back of Laggy Racer right now. as these three still just sitting comfortably. Guna has left the session. I would assume he's lagged out, so if anyone is still in the session that can invite him back, do so. If you would be so kind. As we have Dan Murphy looking for an overtaking opportunity at every given opportunity. He will be looking for a move. I can definitely see this move coming into the final, into the chicane. Laggy Racer going defensive, so he will not be doing anything. But Laggy Racer going into the back of Maz. That's really not going to be good news for Maz. That's going to close him up to Laggy and Dan. Seems a bit dodgy to me. But Laggy is going to go for the move. That's going to make them 3 wide. No, Laggy has given up on the move, making him... Oh, he's back. That's 3 wide going for into turn 2. This is very, very close racing. Beautiful here to watch. That will Dan Murphy make it stick on Laggy Racer. Laggy on the grass a little bit. But Dan Murphy overshooting a little bit, doing well to avoid Maz. But we do have now Dan Murphy up into 5th place. Gunner's joined back now. Laggy Racer is going to be trying to get that position back. And Dan Murphy is going for every single opportunity he can, as we're going to sit on board with this, because this is looking very exciting right now. As Dan Murphy tries to get the run, this is definitely drying up now. We'll be on the slicks probably. That is the next pit stop phase. As we've got Dan Murphy on the back of Maz now, he will be looking to make the move into the hairpin. So I will be going on board with Irej to watch this happen. Does he manage to make a stick? Maz gives him the squeeze, but gives him enough room. But Dan Murphy gets a beautiful launch. It goes side by side. Dan Murphy makes a stick though. But will Maz come back at him? He's got the run. He's coming into turn 1. Is he gonna go for it? No. I'm gonna watch from Laggy Racer's POV. I saw a bit of slide in there. Maz is getting a bit uncomfortable, it seems, coming through turn 1. But now we've got Dan Murphy up into 4th place. 10 seconds off the top 3. They have really got away. Laggy Racer looking for the move on Maz, who's really struggling right now. Laggy Racer coming through around the outside. Will he make it stick? That's beautiful. That is honestly... Jesus. Here we go. Is that Laggy Racer up into... Yes, it is. Laggy Racer into 5th place. That was a very, very nice move there. I couldn't get the best camera angle for that, but what I saw of it was very, very impressive. Just left and right of Maz there. Maz is struggling a hell of a lot now on these tyres. And will be looking to probably come in for the dries. DRS has now been enabled, so you will be seeing the drivers dart in for the dries. We've got Total P's being the first one in. Then we've got Ole. And then Jonathan Cox, Dan Murphy. It's not looking like anyone's really going to get held up coming into the pits right here. I think Andreas going for another lap. Obviously, because he doesn't want to double stack, but I don't know if that'll be a mistake. Energetics also coming into the pit. Will be double stacking, possibly. YBR, the sole McLaren of this race. Kuba, Farf, they will all be coming in. P's fit in the Haas, looking to go to the end of this race. But Jonathan Cox has jumped Oneole in the pits, running the mediums. That's really going to run him well. We'll be seeing what if Jonathan can take these mediums to the end or if they will drop off. He's really gunning for this win here. As everyone else seems to be fitting the hards. We've got Dan Murphy on the softs and Laggy Racer on the softs, so they're looking to get another stop. Sorry. As we've got Dan Murphy making that move stick on Maz. He's going to be for ear edge. Maz has had a terrible pit stop, I've just realised, and so has Laggy, losing a position to ear edge under the, but Total P's is catching up to Andreas so quickly, it's unreal. 4 seconds the difference is now. That may have been a massive mistake to go again, but this is beautiful watching these guys go. Laggy Issa has just made it round, made a double overtake. That is amazing there. As we've got Dan Murphy making the move on ear edge, grabbing the slipstream from Laggy, and he's going to go for the other move. I don't know if that was a bit late braking there, but he's got the move done. Andreas having a 5-second stop go for speeding in the pits. Those two going side by side, forcing the Toro Rosso to go wide. Will the Toro Rosso be able to make the move? Andreas coming out the pits. Where will he come out? Will he come out in front of YBR and Energetics? Yes, he will. On the medium tyres as well. Jonathan Cox is really good, closing up to the back, because this is a battle that I need to be watching right now. As Dan Murphy is in P4, I've just realised. Paz setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Liam going even quicker. So I should be expecting those sort of times now. As I will be watching for a move to be made for the lead of this Chinese Grand Prix. P's going defensive now. He's going to try and hold him up for as long as possible. Jonathan will be going for the move into the hairpin. Will he make it stick? Yes, he will. That's Jonathan up into P1 of this Chinese Grand Prix. Will he be able to make the tyres last, though? He has got to take these another 15 laps before he even gets on to the last lap. I don't know if they can last that long, but we will see. We've got the 2 soft runners that will obviously need to make another stop as well. But Dan Murphy going the fastest of them all with a 1:37.193. Andreas is really pulling away now. Oh, YBR with a beautiful slide in my background. It's not going to help him, though, in his defense of Energetics, which is a nice move, but they are going to go side by side. There's contact. There's YBR sliding, but catching it again. Neither one has got damage. That was just wheel-to-wheel contact. Fair racing, really. It's always bound to happen around that corner, I would say. But YBR decided not to go for that move there. As we now have Jonathan Cox really leading. Almost will. I don't think Pease will have DRS. Can we have DRS now? No, he doesn't. Jonathan is really pulling away now. As we don't really have too many battles. This is the closest we've got, which would be nice to stay on board with. Let's see if there's a move going into on the straight or into the hairpin. Jonathan Cox going even faster with 36 flat. Will he make this move? He's going to go have the inside line for the hairpin. But Energetic's going for the switchback, which is not going to work here. Andreas going fastest lap with 1:35.591. But now YBR up into 9th place. It's an intense battle for these two here. As we've just got Liam passing Paz for P13. And this is the battle we want to be paying attention to right now, which is YBR versus Energetics. But it does seem to be extending a bit now, as Energetics does seem to be struggling. I'm not sure if that is the case or it's just a dirty air pushing him away. But he does need to stay within this 1 second gap if he does want to have a chance. She's just falling out of now. YBR does seem to be pulling away. So we've got Andreas really closing up to the back of Maz on those medium tyres. So there isn't really any battling going on at the moment. Everyone's quite well spaced out. It's kind of difficult to commentate over, if I'm being honest with you. There's 1 second gaps pretty much everywhere. No DRS either for anyone, even the guys on the back straight right now. F1 Faf is into P11 though, 8 seconds off of Energetics. Well, he will be looking to try and recover. He's got 14 more laps to do so he could do it. Sorry, not 14, 12. Because this is the key driver I want to be focusing on right now. It is Andreas. Really closing on the back of Maz. He's on a charge right now. He is not going to be getting DRS yet, I don't think. But he will be in the next DRS zone. But Maz is also catching up to the back of Iraj, so this will be interesting. As Andreas does have DRS coming up to the back of Maz. He'll be looking to apply that pressure sooner rather than later as his teammates starting to get drawn in by the Racing Point driver. This isn't what I would necessarily say a good position is for Maz at the moment, because I'm sure this Iraj is not going to be letting him through anytime soon until Andreas is right on the back, which he almost is right now. As you can see, he's just gaining time through that second sector. These mediums are very nice and grippy. Leopard picking up a 3-second time penalty there. As we have Andreas right on the back, right in the gearbox of Maz. He's going to be making this move on this straight, probably before the corner, easily before the corner. Here we go. Andreas for P7 now. and will more than likely be let go by his teammate as the two soft runners are in the pit. See what they will be doing. They'll be in the mediums. That's interesting. See if these other medium runners are going to be running later as well. YBR coming out in front of Dan Murphy as well. Energetics also coming out in front of Dan Murphy. I don't know if those softs were worth it, but we will be seeing by the end of this race, seeing what these mediums can do. But we do have One on the back of Total P's. These two do have a history of league racing together, so they will know what each other are like if they do get into a battle. As Dan Murphy has been let go by Energetics, obviously team orders have come into play there. As I would assume One has DRS, yes he does. And Andreas is going to be getting let by on this straight by Irej. Well, it's not like Irej has much to say about it. That is Andreas up into P4. Irej was on low ERS mode while Andreas was on overtake, so that was definitely a planned move. As Mazda seem to be struggling to pull in the Toro Rosso right now. As One is really catching the back of this racing point as well. The Red Bull family drivers are kind of dominating the front right now. As we do have Laggy Racer just sitting on the edge of the points, just sort of chilling. But I think the thing I'm most curious about now, seeing Dan Murphy go on to the medium tyres, is if Jonathan is going to have to pit, and the same with Andreas. Are they going to have to pit again before the end of this race? As YBR goes wide into that corner, doesn't get a very good exit, Dan Murphy will be looking to get past as quickly as possible. He'll be more than likely waiting until... Yeah, he will wait until the straight to get this move done. Just making sure he can see his braking zone there. Getting a better run as well onto this back straight. It's going to be made... Yeah, that is almost made before the DRS, so... And that is a see you later move there by Dan Murphy. Getting himself back on the racing line and making that corner as well. Dan Murphy is up into P7. So the thing I would be interested now in is who has been the biggest gainers and losers this race so far. Interestingly, it's been a very stagnant sort of grid, to be fair. Jonathan's found his way back up to the front. Pease has gained 2 places. One has gained 2 places. Andreas has lost 1. Irej has gained 3. Maz is sat in the same spot. Dan Murphy's gained an astounding 9. YBR's only lost 1. Then Energetics, Laggy, Farf, Guna, Liam have all stayed the same from their starting positions. And then you've got Paz and Leper who have swapped positions. So that's interesting to know, actually. But we will be seeing more action from One and P's here. Only more than likely about to go for it. No, he's still saving ERS and low ERS. F1 Farf has left the lobby. I'd assume he's lagged out, so if anyone could get him an invite back into the session as quickly as possible, that'd be great. we've got One on the back of Total P's. More than likely going to be looking to make the move into this DRS zone, or he might just sit behind, which he seems to be doing again, just sitting behind, just biding his time. As F15 has still not got back into the lobby. Lost 2 seconds so far. I think Jonathan will be looking to take these mediums to the end. He's not really pulling away anymore though, so we will see if these two do catch up near the end of the race. And we've got Total P's under pressure from One. Still not going to make the move. Don't know if they're working together at the moment or if they're just going to chill. As we've got yellow flags in sector 1. I can't see what that is. This is One going for the move around the inside, but Total P's coming back at him, not letting him have it easily. Some still side by side, and we will see One be the one in second place for that, but Total P's with a better run will be braking later going into turn 5, but One will be sticking in P2. That's a good move there by One. Just trying to see what's going on really. The mediums do seem to have dropped off though, because Andreas has been caught up to by Iraj. So I don't know if they'll do the swap back or if Iraj will just act as his defense. Because there's no really more places to gain than where they are right now, so they could act as a defense from the racing point driver. As Total P's does make the move up the inside, backs out and decides he will bide his time a bit longer. There's 5 laps left of this Grand Prix. Jonathan Cox still getting away. He's about to lap Leper. But we do have the move being made. Going through turn 2. And Total P's are on the outside. This is a much better camera angle to see what's going on. But Total P's cannot make the move stick. Will he be going for it into turn 5? I think this is turn 5, turn 4. No, he won't be able to make it stick. One gets a better run, but he's still right on the back of him. Will Total P's be looking to make the move? Come in here. Yes, I think he will. He's going to look to make this move stick as One goes defensive, but cannot do anything about that. He does stick behind the Racing Point driver, doesn't try and battle back, but he will be getting DRS for the next straight, which will be interesting to see if he does try. But that is a massive cut there by One. Completely missing his turning point. He's going to be sitting behind now. And just probably saving some ERS. As Iraj is really on the back of Andreas, but I just don't think he's going for the move. I think the biggest threat now for Maz is Dan Murphy closing up to the back of him. But this is the closest battle on track right now in which you've got energetics in the pit for some reason, which will be pushing Farth's AI car up into 10th place, which I'm sure he'd be pretty happy about, actually, to see that he could be getting points today. Yellow flags is sector 3, not 4 anything. I think that's Liam MD messing up the hairpin though. But we're not. We've got One trying to close up as much as he can at the moment. Really getting close to the back of that Racing Point. He's gonna look to try and get as close as possible here. As we also have YBR and Laggy very close, which I'm going to hop on board with now. Oh, Laggy is making the move on YBR, and they've locked wheels. But it looks like Laggy's going to make that stick. YBR's got the DRS though. Really giving him the squeeze, moving back over. It's good defensive work there by Laggy to keep that position. So have these two coming up to the straight again. Is One going to be able to get a good enough run on Total P's to be able to make a move this time? It looks like he's a bit far back, really. We do have Dan Murphy right on the back of Maz already, which he's going to be looking to make this move, like, more than likely as quick as possible going into this hairpin. He's going to go for the outside. You're pressing the wrong button, sorry about that. We will be seeing these two go through with DRS for Dan Murphy. He will not be able to make this move here. Sliding, losing grip of that car there. But as Laggy and YBR are side by side again going through there, who's going to come out the victor this time? It seems like it's going to be Laggy, but YBR going onto the grass to try and make that move stick. Seemed a bit desperate to me. But that's racing. Sometimes people, you need to make those moves if it's ever going to have the opportunity. Energetic stealing the fastest lap of the race at the moment. But we do have Dan Murphy right up the chuff of Maz. who's only 2 seconds away from the two Toro Rosso guys. Here we go for Dan Murphy. Is he going to make this? Does he have a DRS failure? No. He's just... I think what he's doing... I think he's accepted he's not really going to... Or he knows the penalty situation of the drivers in front. These two are going to be interesting here, but we do need to pay attention to these. This here, Dan Murphy not able to make anything stick. YBR with a penalty. Those two are side by side. YBR, Laggy defending very harshly there. But YBR making that move stick. I'm sure there's no love lost between these two drivers. Like he's showing what league racing's all about there to our new driver. Really not letting loose on him, sending it down the inside. That's an audacious move there by Laggy Racer, but making it stick. This is the last lap of the race, which would probably be wise to come and watch your two-time race winner come round corner in Jonathan Cox. These 25 points are going to count towards his championship race. That's another great race by Jonathan Cox. That's a win for him. Congratulations. Then P's coming home in second. Then One in third. Andreas will be sitting behind, but will Dan Murphy be making a move on Maz? Yes, he will. On the second to last corner, he has made that move stick on Maz. That's gutting. But Maz will end up moving up to P6 in the end. Dan Murphy going P5. Andreas moving down to P7. Laggy and YBR coming across the line at the same time as well. The last points paying position looking like it's gonna go to F1 Farf, who isn't actually in the session, but I mean that's a win for him really if he's F1 Fuff losing out on penalties to Energetics. That is Energetics getting the last points paying position. Guna being the last person across the line. Not last though, because 3 drivers did get lapped. But that is the end of the Chinese Grand Prix race 3 of this season. We will be back here next week, Thursday at 8 PM for round 4 of VIL. But once again, congratulations to our podium sitters in Jonathan Cox, Total P's and One Ole. Second win again, but an official one for Jonathan Cox for number 25 and 25 points going home for his team. Fastest lap going to Energetics with 2 points going to Haas for his efforts today. Dan Murphy picking up another couple points for Haas as well, dropping into 5th. But this is the final race results as we come home with Jonathan Cox, Total P's, One Ole, Irej, Dan Murphy, Maz, Andreas, Laggy, YBR, Energetics rounding out the top 10. Farf, Guna, Paz, Liam, Leopard and Grant Boy DNFing. If Farf hadn't got 13 seconds of penalties, it would have been different, but he did. So that is lost him a point. But the fastest lap does go to Energetics with 2 points going to sending home to Haas. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.